Hey everybody, I'm just taking a moment to catch up with you guys while I'm cutting down and freezing some strawberries that I have because it's nice to have fresh fruit in the winter. I'm just cutting the tops off and then slicing the actual berry in half, and I'm putting it into, I have my tall, what I call my corn pot, putting it into the tall pot that has the bag lining it, and until I get through these two containers of it. And then after I'm done, I will rinse them all down and more tightly package them and stick them in the freezer. Because, food prices are going up and the availability is going down. And I don't know about you, but I've heard that there's a possibility of there being some food shortages soon. And I'm not trying to fearmonger or anything. I'm just saying, look around you, see what's going on, um, what's happening in the stores. How is the supply of the foods that you typically eat every day, when you go to the store? Is that food supply still there, especially for fresh food like strawberries? Is it still the same? Is the price of the food still the same, or has the price gone up, or exactly what's the situation? Trying to make sure that these strawberries that I do take are good. Some of them have some little dings on them, and I don't want to be freezing the dings on them. Oven's popping because I put some food in there for dinner. But with the gas prices going up and down, and the issues with getting tires for vehicles, and with getting the pallets of food delivered, um, it's a good idea to be uh, mindful and prepare and check how much you have stocked up, especially right now. Um, I like to be like the ant preparing for the winter. As you see, these are pretty decent. But if there are still opportunities for free foods in your area, check it out and see if you're able to get a portion of that for yourself. I went by one location today, and they had they only come by once a month, but they had much less than they usually have, which was surprising because usually they're giving an overabundance, but they had much less. But then you have to look at what's happening in the news and with the weather and crops drying up and all of that. So there's just less out there to take, less out there to have. And I'm so used to getting an overabundance and being able to share it, like with my neighbors. Um, but right now, it's me focusing on my family's needs. So, have you checked out any places in your community and seen what's available? Um, and I've even watched some other YouTuber channels, some prepper channels, and they're pretty much chiming in saying the same thing that I'm experiencing. Yeah, there's stuff in the stores, but you're paying more for the same old stuff. And the quantity and the quality is not exactly the same. So you have to take what you can get and really work with it. Um, and it was on the news in in my area that there's an expectation of people wearing their masks indoors again. If they're at the grocery store or Target or other places like that, or in government buildings, because the numbers of people getting sick are rising again. So we have to be mindful and watch out for ourselves and meet our own needs on many levels. As far as food, as far as preparedness, um, sanitation. Keep your home clean. If you're blessed and you have a place to stay, as the eviction moratorium has been lifted, and now people are being told that many of them just don't have a place to stay anymore. If you're blessed and you have a place to stay, be thankful and grateful and work with what you have. Keep your home clean. Wash your dishes. Wipe down your counters every day. Sweep the floor every day. When you see the trash getting full, tie that joker up, take it out. Every time you see it getting full. In this bag to toss up my scraps from the strawberries. Because as I said, there's a lot of people that are losing their homes, that have nowhere to stay, nowhere to go. Um, Even if you may not be crazy about your home or the neighborhood, work with what you got and thank God for what you have. Um, and try to be prepared with food, um, not just instant food, fast food, but other foods that can last you a longer period of time, just in case something were to happen and the trucks weren't able to get through to the store, that you would have something. Don't grocery shop by the day. Have things stored up. Hopefully, you've been watching long enough to know to get some canned goods if you're able to. Even if it's 2 or 3 canned goods or a jar or two of peanut butter. Get some canned goods. Put that stuff up so that you have it just in case. Because as we've seen in the past year, we can't always be certain what's going to come and when it's going to come. So we have to be prepared. Finished one container, almost. Um, so it's good to be prepared, especially if you can put some things in the freezer. But it's like I said, it's nice to have things that are in cans if possible, or dehydrated, because if your power goes out or if refrigerator stops working, that food will most likely go bad, especially if someone is opening and closing that refrigerator door a lot. So you want to make sure that you have a variety of choices, a variety of options of things that you can eat. But these were freebies today at that giveaway. They didn't have as much, like I said, as they usually do, but they had lots of plums and strawberries. So I had a couple of packages of strawberries and more plums than I could probably ever know what to do with. So I gave a lot of them away because they were trying to give me a whole case of plums. I did take some and I'll pit them and cut out the seed and most likely cut those up and freeze them. But if I feel motivated to do so, I could make some plum jam or something. But anything that wasn't taken would probably end up going bad fairly quickly. Because especially when it's a food giveaway, it's usually that it's on that timeline and they need to give it out in hopes that someone is willing to take it and use it. And as you see, it looks fairly good, but Some of the strawberries look like they could turn really soon, which is why I'd rather just take them and chop them up and freeze them. This one is kind of done for. So to get as much as we can out of this good food, that's the goal. And if you've watched my other videos, you've seen me talk about um, my time that I spent cooking at the monastery. Everything that those sisters had there was given to them because they didn't really go out and do other things. Their job was to pray for everybody, um, be kind of humanitarian, you know, in that way. And so people would just come and either knock on the door or ring the doorbell and leave them bushels of food. And whatever they had is what I had to work with for the day. And they would usually just tell me what they wanted to eat. And it wasn't like they just sat and ate stew every day. I know there's some stereotypes out there where people think that people who live in monasteries only eat stew. They eat other stuff too. But what they do is they really believe in not wasting food. And so they're appreciative of whatever they get and they will use everything to the best of their ability to make delicious meals. And that was part of my responsibility when I was out there was to help them um, by preparing whatever they wanted for meals. So these are the kind of things that I'd like to talk about. I know a lot of people and a lot of prepper channels talk about, going to Costco and Walmart and all these other places, which are fine. Those places are fine and they're good. But not everybody can afford that. And if what you can afford is whatever's left over from the food giveaway, then I hope that you'll continue to join me and cook with me and prepare with me. Like taking these strawberries and cutting off the unnecessary part and keeping the good part. Uh-oh. Dropped part of the bad part. So that way it'll be good food for in times of need. Not all donated food is bad. You have to examine it and see what do you have. There's some dings and some bruises on this one. So I cut the top off where those bruises were and I try to check it out. There's a little ding on the side. Cut that piece off and then the rest of it I cut in half. And this is something that we all can do just to be more mindful of the food that we have and how we use it. There were some not so great strawberries at the bottom of the container. Then you know what I do with all these bad strawberries, or the portions that were cut off and the portions that would be considered throwaways. This goes into the compost bin. So I'll do a video on that hopefully in the next day or so to show you the compost bin and how putting this stuff in the compost bin turns this into soil, which helps with growing more food in the future. And in my case, around my building, because the soil around my building is really not that good for growing food at this time, still trying to learn more from the University of Minnesota how to improve upon the soil, but making good soil out of the compost that will come from these strawberries and banana peels or whatever, I think that's pretty hip. I'll get this much cut up that I can wash and then that's going in the freezer. And that will be a really nice treat to have in the cold weather. So I don't know. What do you think about the potential for another shut in? Because I'm not sure what all's gonna happen. But it's like when a storm is coming. The sky gets a little cloudy and then it starts to get dark. Clouds turn a little bit of a different color, and you can feel that vibe in the atmosphere, and you know that the storm is coming. So when you know that the storm is coming, you know that you need to prepare. And so that's what I encourage you all to do. And I hope that you've been doing it for these couple of years that I've been here on YouTube. But I hope that you have been doing it and that you'll continue doing it. And be mindful of things like this. If you have an opportunity to get free stuff like this that you can chop up and freeze and put away and store up for the winter months that will be coming ahead, go for it. So I look forward to talking to you again soon. I hope that you'll smash that like button and share so that other people can hear the content and leave me some comments. Do you think that we're about to have another shut in? I mean, they're ramping back up on the masks. And in my area, the numbers of cases with the virus are rising again. People are going to lots of different events like wrestling matches and outside community based social events like in arenas and whatnot, and they're not masking up. What do you think about that? All that? Leave a message for me in the comment section, and you have a great day.